Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin and today I'm bringing you guys a video on how to level up effectively in New World, how to progress effectively, what to do effectively when you're 60 plus, what zones you should be in and all this kind of thing. I've had a lot of comments here on YouTube, over on my Twitch channel when I've been live streaming, and of course in game as well. People kind of asking, where should I be at this level, what should I be doing as I'm going through the game and leveling, what should I be doing when I'm level 60 and all that kind of good stuff. So this video is going to go over kind of how you should be progressing through the game, what zones are relevant for you, what content is relevant for you, and all that kind of good stuff to try and point people in the right direction. So let's jump straight into it here. In game, if you press K and go onto your attributes section here, as you guys can see, level 52, I've got all of these attributes that are on screen now, primarily strength with secondary constitution, looking pretty beefy. If you then click on this little button just down here in the bottom left, just where it says above your level XP bar and how much you've got to the next level, click on view leveling rewards. Now, okay, so if we have a look at this here, you guys should be able to see now I've moved the camera up to the top there. This is basically a chart which tells you what you unlock at each level. So you've got, for example, level 5, your second weapon slot, your first camp tier upgrade, and it tells you the territories that you should be in for each level unlock. Now, obviously your first ones, First Light, Everfall, Monarch's Bluff, Windswood, they should be what you're focusing on primarily up until around level 30, including side quests, including doing a few corruption breaches, and doing all that kind of good stuff, gathering, crafting, on top of all your main story quests. You should pretty much get up to level 30 and be absolutely fine in those zones there. Now, when you get to level 25, you will unlock Brightwood and Cutlass Keys, and this means that once you get there to this level, the quests in those zones will unlock. So try and do your side quest, try and do your main quest before level 25. Once you get up there, obviously finish off any in the area that you've got, particularly if they're easy ones. But if you kind of get a little bit bored, bit stagnant in the areas you're in, we all do it, then that's the time to move on to Brightwood and Cutlass Keys at level 25 there, because that will unlock those quests. So you can go up to Brightwood, grab your side quest, grab your faction quests, etc. And you can go ahead and do those. Same in Cutlass Keys. So any point from that level onwards, you want to be doing both of those. And then at level 30, which is pretty shortly afterwards, especially when you got all of the brand new quests unlocked, you will get Weaver's Fen unlocked for the quests there. And again, this is another really good area. Lots of side quests, really easy to do. Lots of really fun side quests, as well as faction missions and stuff like that. Obviously, as well, at level 30, you will unlock the main story. Again, you'll probably get up to level 33, 34 just off doing that. And then it'll ask you to get to level 40 again. So you are going to need to make use of the side quests in these zones. Now, when you complete all of the side quests and faction missions mixed in with a few corruption runs as well, you are going to be up to pretty much level 38, 39 off these three zones, so you might not be pretty much needing to do too much grafting in order to get up to level 40, but if you do, I would highly recommend obviously throwing in some Starstone Barrows runs. That's a level 35 expedition. It's not required through the story, but you do get given a key from doing some of the side missions, so I would highly recommend doing that, as it is going to be a very decent amount of XP, particularly when you do the Barkamedes quest for it as well, to get that recurring XP every time you go in. On top of that, like I've mentioned a few times, corrupted runs are going to be fantastic for gaining XP. So grab a group of 5 to 10 players and run round and close the corruption portals. You can do this very quickly, and it will get you 600 XP for every small one, or 690, so basically 700, and about 2000 XP for every big one. And because you can do probably about 7 or 8 of these in 10 minutes, obviously that adds up to be quite a lot of XP, particularly when you're out leveling the zone that you're in. So that's a really good way to kind of boost up there. Then you'll hit level 40, where you will unlock Restless Shore and Great Cleave. Now, again, at this point, you will get main story, but it will ask you to do something called the depths. Now, I would not recommend you do the depths until you get to level 43. The reason being for this, again, the depths has a reoccurring quest that gives you XP when you do it, and of course, you need to be just a couple of levels under the recommended at 45 in order to be able to get this quest. So wait until level 43, head over to Restless Shore, do a few of the side quests there. They're actually really cool side quests. Again, Great Cleave, another fantastic place, very Skyrim-esque vibes there. So any of you Skyrim guys, head up to Great Cleave when you get to level 40, you won't be disappointed. And of course, if you didn't see the faction token farming guide that I made just a couple of days ago, it'll be linked somewhere on screen now, and that basically tells you that Great Cleave is the best way to go for the PvP questing. When you get to level 40, you actually unlock the tier 4 gear, which means you can actually grind the faction reputation points for those in Great Cleave very easily, and get those really quickly, so you can instantly get up to that tier 4 weapons and armor pretty much straight away, which is nice. Obviously, corruption breaches are really important, so running those in groups in Great Cleave and in Restless Shore is going to be a very, very good source of XP. Decent amount of caches, you can get a load of good item drops from that as well, and it's alright for weapon XP. And of course, you have elite zones in both of these areas. The corrupted zone in Great Cleave is actually around level 50, so make sure you're a little bit higher up than 40 when you do that one. The Restless Shore one is around 45 to 48, but again, it can be pretty tricky, so make sure you take around 10 to 15 players if you are on that lower end of the 40 scale. But hopefully you're in a company or you're in a server where at least people are grouping up together, because that's going to be super important. For any of you guys that are solo players, there's a lot of times that the recruiting chat or the faction chat will be asking for people to run corruption trains. Try and join one of those, or indeed, again, maybe run back some Starstone with some people, or indeed just keep doing the faction missions, the side quests, finish off all of those. You should be able to level 43, then you can do the depths. The depths is a really, really cool dungeon, so that one's very fun, and that will take you almost up to 44. When you hand in the main quest there, you're then able to continue with the story, which should get you nicely up to 45 with no issues. Throwing in a few corruption runs, you should be 46, 47, and at 45 you will unlock Morningdale territory. Now this one is really, really cool. It's raining over there, okay? It's a very cool looking area. Again, lots of easy side quests to do, or not necessarily easy side quests, but fun side quests to do, which should get you nicely up to that 48, 49 mark, and then from there obviously you're creeping up to 50, again doing some of those corrupted runs, maybe another run or two of the depths, those side missions in all of the areas that you've currently unlocked. Again, going back, just making sure that you've ticked off all the latest ones. Great Cleaver's got a lot of missions that you can certainly get on at this level, so it's really, really good for XP there. And as I say, those corrupted portal trains are going to get you a level or two a day just by doing an hour or two of those, so very worth doing. And then finally, when you get to 50 like I am now, obviously we get the main story quest back, so you can go ahead and do those. It's actually in Eden's Grove up the top of the map. Now this area is pretty tricky. I would recommend obviously taking some friends with you. If you've got a healer, that would be very helpful, or if you are a healer, try to take a DPS or a tank, because this is, you know, kind of a tricky zone. There's a lot of mobs around, but you can easily solo it as well if you play it carefully. Very, very cool looking zone, probably one of my favorites next to Ebonscale Reach at the moment. Those two zones are kind of like very, very cool in my opinion. And yeah, you get access to that one, and of course Ebonscale like it says there, so level 50 is where you want to be going to those. Continue with your main quest, your side quests, etc., and that will get you up. Again, I've been doing corrupted runs, and as you can see, I am level 52, very close to 53, and that's really cool. Another massive thing at level 50 is your invasions. You actually unlock those, so you can sign up to those at any of the war boards in the settlement where this is going to take place, and that's a really good boost of XP. It's a very fun thing where you defend the fort from enemies. A lot of these enemies are very high level, so obviously the higher level you are, the better, but if you sign up at these levels, you've got a chance to be drafted in, because the team can only pick 10 players. The other 40 are random from the list. So you go in there, do one of these. It's a good source of XP, gold, and kind of weapon mastery, as well as you do get a loot roll at the end, which can be some nice stuff too. So that's always really, really good. And then, of course, when you do get up to that next final level of course, 55 and then 60, you don't unlock anything at 55. You obviously unlock your third house. You'll be able to get access to a few more of the main story quests, because you do need to do Dynasty Shipyard, which I would again recommend being 53 or above for. So when you get to my level, get to 53, then you can kind of tread the waters on it if you've got a good team. And then of course 60, you unlock Outpost Rush. You've got Reekwater and Shattered Mountains for those elite zones and main story quests there, legendary quests, and moving on from that. Now the legendary quests lines are going to be very, very important. That is how you get these legendary weapons. If we have a look on these zones specifically, it will tell you 58 to 60 plus, Ebonscale is 51 to 60 plus, Shattered Mountains is 60 plus, that's the highest level zone we currently have. And these areas are going to be what takes you to the elite quests for those legendary weapons. These are really, really long quest lines, story chains, whatever you want to call them, but by the time they are done, they are very, very, very worth it, as there is some very good loot from them. Now on top of this, you'll notice in these areas you've got the level 5 Azov staff is required, and you've got the level 65 corruption breaches, portals, all that kind of good stuff. These are going to be pretty tough to do. You want at least a group of 5 or 10, again, doing these out. But you will get the tier 3 star, the level 65 3-star crates from doing this, which is going to be the best possible loot. It's going to be the fastest way for you to get those level 60 plus expedition keys. So again, you know, for your Garden of Genesis and, of course, Lazarus Instrumentality. To get those keys to be able to craft them in the long term, you're going to want to be running these corruption portals up here. Now, for those of you that are confused when it says 60 plus, essentially when you get to level 60, that's the level cap, as it it were, but there is then gear scores. If you go into game and press tab, you will see on the screen the gear score you currently have, kind of the setup, where everything is, your inventory, etc, etc. In the bottom left corner here, you can see that there is actually a little thing that says gear score. Now, mine is currently 445. It's not bad for level 52, but it's not great. It tells you all your resistances, your elemental resistances, your attributes, etc, and kind of gives you an overall picture of it, as well as obviously your weight class and stuff. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Once you get up to level 60, you can get pretty much 530 gear score, or 515, 520-ish gear score from the faction vendor gear. So that's why that's going to be really good running those at Great Cleave to get that done quickly. So that's going to be a way you can get up there. But then after that, the highest gear score in the game at the moment is actually 600. So grinding up to there is going to be, as you get to those level 64, 65, and 66 mobs, that is what's going to be impacting your damage, your resistances, is that higher gear score and higher rarity of items that you actually equip. So that's how you're going to get up there for those plus levels, because a lot of people have been asking, well, how do you get 60 plus? There isn't a 60 plus. This one's recommended level 65. There isn't a level 65. And it is just about getting to 60 and then increasing your gear score and your overall character power. In terms of zones, as you can see on the map as well, it does also tell you roughly what level region you should be in these zones. However, things like Everfall, you can see there's still some quests that I could be doing here. And I have gone back to these at later levels just because you can absolutely steamroll the side quests here and easily get a cheeky 2,000, 3,000 XP for literally 5 minutes work when you're super out leveled. So if you are then finding it hard to be in these higher level zones, maybe you've gone up to Great Cleave, some of these missions are a little difficult without some group members, maybe you can't find a group right now, come back down, just steam through a few of these earlier side quests and you will actually still be getting a lot of XP. And as I say, my very favourite thing to be doing for XP is going to Rest the Shore or Great Cleave right now and doing these level 45 portals, as they are very, very easy to do with a group and they give you a ton of XP very quickly. Look how close these are in close succession. You can get so many of these together and just do a quick run round. That'll take you 10-15 minutes to do all of those and you're probably in there about 8 to 9,000 XP minimum. And that's without killing the mobs, etc., which gives you a little more. So you're looking 10 to 11,000 XP from 15 minutes work, which is why this is so good. Also, another thing that you can do as you are leveling, and even when you get to max level, is obviously your crafting. Now, crafting, people were saying, how do you level up from this? Every time you craft something, you gain XP for it. On top of this, every time you level up a crafting, so for example, if we go into the K menu here, look at my trade skills, if I went from Arcana 39 to Arcana 40, I would get an XP boost. When you get to milestones like 50, 75, 100, you get a big XP boost, so you get a big chunk, 2,000-3,000, maybe more when you get up to those higher levels, so like level 100 is like 5,000 bonus, you get a big chunk of XP, and as you can see, quite a lot of my skills are pretty high level, some of them, you know, not so good. We'll talk about fishing, but these will give you a good XP boost. So again, if you're finding the missions hard or you're not wanting to do missions right now, get gathering, get refining, get crafting, and that will give you a huge boost towards getting to that next level so you can unlock a new zone and start off a new quest chain there, or indeed catch up with the main story level so you can get back on with the main story quest as well. So hopefully you guys have found this video useful and informative. If you have, make sure to leave a like on the video down below, as that really does help me out. If you are new here to the channel and you'd like to see more New World content, then please do go down below, press that big red subscribe button and make sure you've got the notification bells on so that you don't miss an upload here from the channel. I've got tons and tons of cool stuff coming up for you, some more class videos coming in the next couple of days, some setup type style ones, then I've got some trading tips, some leveling tips, some zone tips, and some really cool secret little information that I might have got my hands on, which I'm testing currently, so that could be coming up very soon as well, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. If you would like to follow my live streams on Twitch, the link for that will be in the description and in the comments down below as well. If you are interested in joining our Discord community, we have over 1,000 people in there chatting all things New World, and it would be great to see you guys over there. Join the link for that through the description and the comments down below as well. And if you would like to support me directly as a content creator here on YouTube as well, the join button is just below where you can join the membership program we have available here on YouTube. Other than that, as always guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, take care and peace.